Are you going to lose your job in the next 2 years? I don't know. That's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Dr. Obed Magni. Welcome to the Leadership Accelerator. If you are looking to accelerate in your career, trying to get into the C-suite, if you're somebody who's kind of worried about the future and you're trying to get ahead of it, you're in the right place. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to your friends and colleagues who you think will benefit from this topic today. So let's get into it. Are you going to lose your job in the next couple of years? I don't know. It depends. First things first, your job's not disappearing. All right? It's not disappearing. It's transforming. If you change your mindset from the scarcity of, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job, you're not going to make it. All right? So understand that AI automates tasks, not jobs. And your role within your job, within your career is evolving. It's not vanishing. So no, the sky's not falling. No, everything's not coming to an end in the next year or two. This isn't like the Terminator movie where, at the beginning, well, you know what? Let me not ruin it for the folks who haven't seen Terminator, but it's not going to be that. All right. Next thing, you got to shift from doing those repetitive tasks and then adapt that mindset of I'm going to lead, I'm going to strategize, I'm going to innovate with AI. Okay, AI is just a tool, you guys. It's just a tool. It's not I'm going to lose my job today because this machine's going to come in here tomorrow and bump me off to the side of the road and I've got nothing else to give up and I don't know what else. Stop freaking out. You don't have to freak out. You got to remember, okay, when the automobile was created, nobody said, oh, well, we don't have any use for any horses. We're not going to use horses to, travel or do anything like that. No. People still use horses for use horses for recreational reasons. There's a lot of reasons why people utilize horses. It may not be the primary, it may not be the number one, form of travel, but we've got cars, we've got trains, we've got other modes of transportation that's out there. So understand, when you say to yourself, or when you tell yourself, hey, you know what? We've got all of these tools and resources out here. How can I make these tools help me be more effective in my job? Or even better yet, how do I utilize all of these resources to help my employer, my career, get to the next level? The people with that mindset literally just put themselves over everybody else when it comes to value. So if you want to increase your value at work, make sure you're leading, you're strategizing, and you're innovating with AI. Focus, focus, focus. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot overemphasize this enough. Focus on uniquely human skills, all right? AI can't replace your human skills, all right? You got to leverage AI as a co-pilot. I cannot stress this part enough. A friend of mine, colleague, posted on her social media recently that, she's using ChatGPT as her therapist. Now, I'm not one to judge, to each his own. But if we're getting to the point where we can't even see human beings, my supervisor or a colleague or a friend or what have you, to help me with my issues, we're in a bad place, okay? So make sure you utilize, you adapt, you get better at those human skills. I cannot stress that part enough. Now more than ever, I should say, you need those soft skills, all right? Second point I need to get into, unbreakable skills for future relevance, okay? I'm going to emphasize this again. Your job is not disappearing. It's transforming. If you adapt, you're going to be right there, riding the wave into the future, okay? You got to cultivate emotional intelligence. AI cannot build, trust, or navigate human dynamics. How many of you guys have seen, or maybe you utilize AI, right? And let's say you put in the prompt saying, create an image of people at a table, listening to, the leader or something like that. And then you get all these people sitting around the table and they're kind of like looking off into space, like there's nothing going on. Well, the reason why that is because there's just some nuances that AI has not picked up on yet or doesn't quite understand yet. We know if we see a table and there's people sitting around the table and they're that 1,000-yard stare, right? That's a thing. We know what a 1,000-yard stare looks like when somebody's looking through you. So AI doesn't know that humanistic dynamic. So it's very, very important that you cultivate, you expand your emotional intelligence skills, because those are skills that are invaluable. Knowing how to connect to people, relate to people, AI can't replace that. Okay? So remember, you're leveraging AI. You're not getting replaced by it. You're not kicking it off to the side. It's a co-pilot. It's there next to you. Utilize it to help you going forward. You got to master adaptability. All right? So you're going to thrive in change. Listen to me. Thrive in change. All right? You're going to unlearn quickly and embrace those new paradigms. Just like I mentioned before, the people who have the understanding of, hey, the dynamics, the landscape, everything right here is changing in front of me. What do I need to do now so that in the future, I will already be in a better position to be in that space when things are moving forward? For example, let's say you work in a particular career and you know that the job that you're doing is probably not going to exist anymore. Well, what are you doing to do the research as far as like, well, what is it going to look like in the future? Somebody at some point still has to manage the machines or the computer systems, the IT, all those things. Are you learning about what my future job is going to look like, or what could this look like, or how can I leverage the future today? All right. So embrace that. Remember, the only constant, if anything right now, is change. Matter of fact, you might learn something today and it becomes obsolete in 3 months. So are you always looking forward, or not forward, are you always looking ahead to what those things are? Okay. If you do so, if you do that, you're going to be in a much better place and you're not going to lose your job in the next couple of years. You got to develop a strategic acumen, okay? So you got to provide, like I talked about before, you got to provide that vision, that judgment, that big picture thinking beyond data. Now, data's good. It's very beneficial. Data's not going anywhere. But what good is it if you have this high level thinking of details and so on and so forth, but it's not translatable to your next door neighbor, or the person working across the street, or your florist, or somebody that you hang out with on the weekends? All right. So understand, if you can't explain, or if you can't provide that vision, that judgment, that big picture thinking to somebody with a 8th grade, education, that's something you might want to develop and you want to get better at. Okay. There's just some people, CEOs, they just don't have the time for all of that details. It's like, hey, give me the quick and skinny in 30 seconds, that elevator pitch. All right. So make sure you're developing that strategic acumen. Learn to take big, complex issues and distill it into very bite-sized, digestible information. All right. Last thing I want to tell you guys, all right, is you got to have a proactive 24-month evaluation plan. Yes, you do. If you don't, that's fine. Don't get mad when the person next to you, who's probably less qualified than you, is like 2 or 3 levels above you, or working in a job that you can't seem to get your hands on, okay? Audit your role. Audit your role. Audit your role, all right? Identify those automatable tasks and then focus on that higher value, that human-centric work, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress this enough, okay? You want to accelerate in your career. If you're really, really worried about what's going on in the future and if you're going to have a job, understand this. You should be working and focusing on those soft skills now, even more so than ever, okay? Remember what I said before. AI, those are your co-pilots, okay? Your co-pilots. So focus on that human-centric work. Targeted skill acquisition. I gotta be good about this. Have you done an honest, I think that's the best word, honest skills assessment of yourself? For example, have you written down on a piece of paper, or maybe you've done a checklist on the skills that you have and the skills that you need? That's the gap right there. If you're somebody who doesn't know much about AI and you're scared about the future, what's the number one thing you should do? Research AI. Find out what people are doing out there. Find out what it is that you don't know. Get a certification. YouTube is free, guys. I'm just saying, it's free. There's tons of videos that you guys can watch. Learn about AI, learn about what people are doing, learn how people are leveraging it. There's newsletters, and I'll leave you guys a link to my newsletter on the bottom here. There's a lot of resources out there to help you learn and lead with AI, not just about it, okay? I cannot emphasize this again. I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it a million more times. You've got to leverage those soft skills. That's what's really, really, really going to be important. You're going to maintain those skills and excel in those skills, but you're also going to embrace AI, okay? You're going to embrace it. You do that, you're going to be light years ahead of your competition, okay? Next thing you need to do is expand your influence. Yes, that means you have to network with folks. Yes, you have to talk to people. Network with people who are experts in this field. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, there's like 3 or 4 people who I surround myself with who are specifically concentrated and focused in this area of AI and everything having to do with it. I get a lot of information from them. I learn a lot from them. That's how I stay on top of, that's how I stay ahead of the game. AI is still fairly new, you guys, okay? Nobody quite knows, I wouldn't say nobody, but it's still fairly new in the lexicon, in the game, and a lot of businesses just simply don't know how to leverage it to help them make more money, to be more efficient, and so on and so forth. Yeah, people know how to make it, utilize AI to take care of some automation here and there, but nobody has fully immersed in it and fully utilized AI. So again, you got to be proactive in learning a lot of these things. I'm doing it. This is something that you should be doing too. So if there's a couple people out there that you know who are experts in this field, either connect with them on LinkedIn or find a way to get in their orbit and learn a lot or learn as much as you can from them. All right. Last but not least, embrace a continuous reinvention. Your career is strategic leaps. It's not a fixed ladder. The days of, go to school, get an education, get a degree, get a good job, and then right off into the sunset, those days are long gone, okay? There is no such thing as, matter of fact, here's what the ladder looks like. It looks like if you ever drive a stick shift, I know now I'm over here talking about something that a lot of people don't know about, but for those who have driven stick shift or standard, all right, when you look at the knob and you go up, down, and then it goes left, right, that's what today's career ladder looks like. It's a lot of backwards, forwards, sideways, diagonal. It's in all directions. It's fast, it's slow, it's all of the above. So there is no one linear line to go from point A to point Z. It just looks like this, it looks like this, it looks like this, it's like all over the place. It's just, but understanding that is the new normal, you're not going to freak out when you have to change gears, change directions, change speeds, or anything like that. All right? So listen to me very carefully. If you adopt the mindset of the sky is falling, your job is going to disappear. If you adopt the mindset of adaptability, that growth mindset, you're going to excel. Again, my name is Dr. Obed Magni. Thank you for showing up. You're going to accelerate in your career when you adapt that growth mindset. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.